Hello, I'm Dr. Edward, the healing vet, and I'm back in the swing of things with this weekly little message that I bring to you where I'm going to show you how to help your pets better every week in a different way. This week, we got two themes that I'm talking about, and the themes for this week are change and challenge. Now, one of the things that you can't avoid in this life is change. But a lot of people do try to avoid it. It's like, oh, it's too hard. Oh, it's scary. I don't know what's going to happen if I make a change. So a lot of people tend to kind of, when change comes, they get stressed. And getting stressed is not good for your pets. If you get stressed, there's a kind of like a boil over of your stress that affects your pets. So change, learning how to meet change and create change in your life. There's probably kind of two kinds of change that we have to create in our life that our pets have to go through with us, because whenever we go through change, our pets are along for the ride. Now, if things that happen that affect our pets, then we're along for the ride with them too. But there's probably two kinds of change. One is change that you choose. You decide, I'm going to create or change this thing in my life. And to do that, you'll often then have to embrace some healthy discomfort and stop doing things that are not going to get you to where you're going and start doing things that are going to get you to where you're going. Then you have the other kind of change, which is change that just comes out of the blue. And often this kind of change that's unexpected change is something that is more challenging and less lovely to have to deal with. So a question for you to consider is, what is your relationship to change in your life? Do you welcome change, or do you go, oh my God, I don't know, I don't want to change. I just want everything to stay the same. Because if you have the second kind of worldview, then change is going to cause you a whole lot of stress. And then your stress is going to not be very helpful for your animals. So the first thing I want to invite you to do is just to learn how to welcome change. Now, if something blows up that seems to be awful, there's a question that I always ask myself. And that question is, what's the best thing that could come out of this change, this situation, this thing that's blown up in my life? And it's a really important question, because when you start asking that, you're not going to doom spiral down into the worst possible thing that could happen, which will make you feel worse, which will make you close down more, which will make you more stressed, which will make your pets unhappier. What you're going to do is start to spiral up to what's the best thing? Maybe this isn't actually such a bad thing that I'm experiencing. Maybe it could turn out to be a good thing. And this changes your whole attitude very rapidly. Now, when you choose to make changes in your life, which could be for a range of reasons, you can use this same thing. What's the best thing that could happen if I make this change in my life? And when you get focused on the best thing that could happen, you're going to be naturally motivated and inspired to do the work that creates the change. So there's that too. Now, I'm talking to you. You might be listening to me out there in social media land. You might be listening to the audio on the podcast. Wherever you are, just know that you can't avoid change. So the more that you can shift yourself to meet change in a healthy way, the happier your life is going to be, and the more you're going to be able to help your pets have the best life possible. Now, change is one side of thing, but life is also always going to have challenges. And challenges and change for me are very interrelated, because if there's a challenge that comes up in your life, and I always talk about rising to a challenge, because if I rise to a challenge, it's very different than going, oh, it's a challenge that's just terrible, I don't want to have to deal with it. No, I want to inspire myself to rise to whatever challenges meet me in life. And then I want to make whatever these challenges are, feed my life in the best possible way to help me grow and help me move into more and more of myself, become stronger as a human being, so that then I can be more present and care for my pets better. So challenge is what do you challenge yourself? Because if life is going to provide you challenges all the time, it's probably a good idea to get in a little bit of challenge training and give yourself some healthy challenges regularly, whether it be around diet or exercise or learning something new or whatever. Because if you kind of train to rise to challenges, then when you have an unexpected challenge come up in your life, man, you'll be so much further ahead of the curve. It's not funny. Now, if you don't respond to changes in your environment and in your animal too, you can really let them down. So, if you, for example, if you have an animal who develops a little lump on their side somewhere, you go, oh, it's a lump. I'm really worried it might be something awful, so I won't get it looked at because it's too scary. You might get lucky and that lump might be something that is benign and doesn't grow any further, but you might also get unlucky and then that lump might get a little bit bigger, maybe very slowly over 6 months, but sometimes that's actually a bad lump, a nasty lump, a cancerous lump. And sometimes these lumps suddenly then accelerate, and in a matter of a week or two, they expand rapidly and start looking strange. And, if you took your animal along to the vet right at the beginning when the lump was really small, it's a tiny little operation. You're likely to get clean margins, and you're also likely to, not have any spread of the cancer. But if it's been sitting there cooking away quietly for 6 months, and suddenly it gets bigger, then the operation is harder, it might have spread. So there's this avoidance of change can be very dangerous for you and your animals as well. Avoidance of actually embracing healthy discomfort and taking action when you do see changes in your pets. And I think another thing to do is make sure you get your pets checked at least yearly by a veterinarian so that they can see changes that you might not have seen. And then you can take action to deal with any potential health issues that might be developing in your animal's body. But the more that you can be willing to change, learn how to change, I think that moving with change is actually a skill, and rising to a challenge is also a skill. It takes a certain amount of emotional resilience and will and determination, which are all things that I find the more I practice, the better I get at them. And then when changes and challenges do arrive, what some years ago might have knocked me for a loop for weeks or months, within a day or so, I'm back up and running and happy and really living my life. Now, my pets benefit immensely from that, because in those days when I didn't cope so well with change and challenge, well, I was a mess. My pets didn't get the attention and care that they really should be getting for that period of time. I wasn't as present with them. I might have not been quite as consistent with their exercise and games and all that sort of thing. So I really encourage you to start thinking about how these themes and things that happen in our human lives are so profoundly important in our animals' lives too. And the more that you as a human can train for change and challenge, so that when they do come up unexpectedly, you create healthy challenges and you create healthy changes in your life on a consistent and ongoing basis. Because then when you do get an unexpected challenge and change blow up in your face, you can go, oh, I already know how to do this. Let's get stuck in and get through this in the easiest way so that my pets can get through it with me in the most beautiful way possible. So that's me, Dr. Edward. That is this week's little dissertation on change and on rising to challenge. I'm also hosting the Pet Anxiety Summit starting on the 18th of September. It's a little bit less than a week away from today. It's going to be a fantastic event. We've got a heap of very, very high-level experts, holistic pet health experts, dog trainers, holistic vets, all sorts of things going on all over the place. You can drop into The Healing Vet on Facebook. You should find us pretty easily. If you want to grab a free ticket, it's free to attend live, but do come along. It's one of the biggest, most important events that I host and participate in each year. And if you want to learn how to prevent and heal your pet's anxiety holistically, you are going to love this summit. But for now, goodbye from me and from Mitzi, my little dog, and Pavati, my cat, and Fred, my other cat. Have a beautiful week with your pets, and please give your pets a pat for me. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.